your brain has not been wired for you to be successful and for you to be free and for you to have all the money and all the wealth that you've ever desired. It's something that you have to work towards. And it is not something that you're taught in school. It is not something that most people can even grasp because it's not a familiar subject. And that's because we are in a system that wants workers. There's a very well-known quote, I forget what it says exactly, but it's about how, the schooling system is designed to make workers, not free thinkers, not business owners, not wildly wealthy people. And so the brain has these highways, right? And it has these back roads. And so in neuroscience, like from studying neuroscience, you can start to see how the brain will often go down the most familiar road. And it's the same thing as you. Like I heard this analogy yesterday, if there was the option to take the highway and there's an option to take the back road could scrape your car, could, cause issues in your vehicle. You don't know exactly if you're gonna get lost or not. And the highway is like very paved well. It's like super trustworthy, everything. You've been on it a million times. It's very familiar. You know exactly how it's gonna work. Maybe there's traffic. Maybe it's not really happy on the trail on this path, but you know it. That is the same as working with your neuroplasticity. That is the same as understanding how the brain is formed. And so the thing about neuroplasticity that has been found is that we have the power to change the brain. The brain is malleable. So we have the ability to rewire our brain. And many of you guys have probably heard about this. We talk about it all the time on my channel here, but neurons that fire together, wire together, right? And so what you think about, you can then start wiring in a new thought, and that will create a new neural pathway, a new highway. And the more that you can do that, the more you will go on that back road, and you will make that back road really familiar. And then you can start to change how you see the world, how you see wealth, how you see your potential. I'm gonna go over here because I have doggies here on my farm here in Ireland, and so they're playing, they're very energetic right now. So let's go over here. So neurons that fire together, wire together. So we can start thinking the thought of the desired and start rewiring what we actually want in our life. But that takes commitment. That takes you going to a place in your being and having the discipline. It's really about the discipline to do this when no one else is watching. The discipline to catch yourself doing and thinking something that you don't think serves you in your highest timeline, and choosing to think and embody a different feeling, a different thought. And the feeling and the thought have to go together. You can't just think, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. There has to be a feeling with it. There has to be that chosen timeline, highest vibration that is fired with that. When you think about like the time that we all went through 5 years ago, 2020, what you were doing at that time when that first started going down, you probably remember very vividly, right? Like you probably remember like where you were, what you were, doing in your home, the decorations, the smells, like everything, because that was such an emotionally charged, a lot of fear, a lot of questions, a lot of everything. Emotionally charged time that just shook you and woke you up and brought you to the present. And so that would put a little imprint on your mind of like, whoa, this was significant. Everything around me I had to be very aware of. And it created a neural pathway and a neural imprint. And so when you start wiring in new thoughts in your mind and you start changing your brain, if you invite in that highest time or highest frequency of the chosen timeline, of your highest timeline, whatever you want to call it, then you start wiring it in such a significant way. Your brain starts to have it imprinted where you want to go. This back road becomes imprinted, and it literally will become the thing that your brain is like, oh, actually, let's go here instead of the highway. Like this is imprinted. This is familiar now. This is curious now. Like this is, because you're going to be like, oh, whoa, you're drawn towards energy. You are energy. You're made up of energy. So if you just shift your energy, you shift your focus, you will shift the way that your momentum is going, the momentum of your life. You could change your whole life if you could make a decision right now. Sorry, I feel like there's like a fly on my head. Farm life. If you could make a decision right now and get your mind, all the patterns in your mind, all your neuroplasticity, and your heart, your soul, your innate knowing to come into agreement. If you can make a decision right now to change your life, that you decide to change your self-concept, you decide to step into your highest timeline, and you decide to let go of everything else, and you are not going to let those old thoughts come up and take over, you will literally change your whole life in a day. Like you will start to see different opportunities. The things that you focus on, right, is what you start noticing more of. It's called reticular activating system. And so what you start noticing, you will notice more of. And so if you start visiting, you have the undesired thought, undesired behavior, and then you visit the highest timeline, chosen timeline, and you start wiring that in, you start focusing on the chosen timeline, you are going to, because of reticular activating system, you will start focusing on the things that are in alignment with your chosen timeline. You will start seeing opportunities that are in alignment. The doors will open, the conversations will happen. I did this meditation the other day, which was super powerful, and I wired in and I let go, and I got my mind and my heart and my mind into alignment, and I made this really powerful decision to step into my next timeline self. I woke up with a text message from someone that I was like, whoa, where did this come from? I've had the craziest month in my coaching business, my course business. Things have just blown up for me, and it just shows me the other day. This is everything is energy. The other day I was in my chosen timeline meditation. I was doing my brain retraining, and I got out of it. In my meditation, in the chosen timeline, I was taken to, every single time I go in there, it's different. And so I had this vision of getting a brand deal that was really a brand that I really love and that I use all the time, that I would love to one day work with. And they they proposed me this incredible offer in the timeline, and I was celebrating it, excited, feeling super grateful, all the things that will help you manifest and help you rewire your mind. And then I opened my eyes, I shit you not, and I got a text message from that company. And I've never received any marketing text messages from them ever. It was the first message from them, and it said you've asked and you ask and you shall receive, kind of thing like that. And it was about a new product that they had or something. But the fact that I opened my eyes and it was ding, it was incredible. And the fact that I opened my eyes after I fell asleep from that other meditation earlier, a week ago. And then this person who I really care about, who I'm very connected with, who's very significant in my timeline, messaged me. I was like, holy shit, this stuff is real. And I know this, but when you start receiving the validation that the work that you're doing to change your brain is actually working, it's incredible. So how do you start? You're I know, I understand, I get it. I want to rewire my mind. I know that I'm not programmed for wealth. I know that I understand this stuff. It's exactly what I'm saying. You have to fire and wire with the emotion, and you have to practice it and be so committed to it. You have to really want it. It's you can't just tell your friends and tell the internet and tell whoever, I'm doing it, I'm retraining my brain. If it's not working, then it doesn't, nothing matters. What matters to you, I said this other day, but maybe your desire to be liked is more powerful than your desire to be free. And that is very common, right? And that I heard in a video from Napoleon Hill. And so the desire to be liked more than the desire to be free. So people will learn 1% of a topic, and then they will run with it, and they will tell everybody, and they will make it their identity, which is so normal, right? That's just what we do because we're excited. But the hard part is doing what no one will see, right? Because no one sees it, because we're community. We're that's part of our DNA, is to be in a community. It's our survival instinct. If we're not a part of the tribe, it kicks in that we will die, because back in the day, if we were exiled from the tribe, we would literally die. And so we want to be liked, we want to be accepted, we want to have all this stuff. But really, in this day and age, we're going to be okay if not everyone likes us, right? You don't have to rely on the tribe to survive right now. You will find your tribe. There has to be this bridge where you cross the bridge and you're okay with leaving behind the people and the things that don't support you, and you go towards your timeline and you go to everything that you truly desire that is in alignment with your highest potential. You will call in your tribe. You will call in your soul aligned family, and everything will be so incredible. But there is that bridge, and you have to cross that bridge, and no one will be there while you're crossing it. This message is charged. It's been raining all day long, and it is just beautiful right now. And I knew that this was going to be a really powerful one. So if you want to join one of my programs, I have 21 days for this one, I would say Wildly Wealthy. That one would be the most aligned for the topic. But I also have 21 days to Rewire Your Mind, which is all about rewiring your mind and changing your neuroplasticity. But I just started recently. I've been in the works with this. This is like, I think, my most exciting offer to me because it's something that lights me up. Maybe that's why I have this energy right now, but it's called Wild Wealth Blueprint. So the Wild Wealth Blueprint, and it is all about it's you creating a blueprint with me showing you exactly like what to look for, like the specifics to look for in your astrology, your gene keys, your human design, your astrocartography. Your astrocartography, if you don't know, it's like a map of where you will either thrive or really suffer on the planet. And I will teach you how to do that. I will teach you what to look for. And there will be a blueprint, like actual PDFs that will go along with each section so that you can start filling it out. And there will be questions so that you can start like brainstorming and getting in your brain genius about how to design your blueprint. And you're not just like, so this is for specifically for entrepreneurs to be creators, online creators, people who want to have an impact, a presence online, a business, like either a product or a service, and you want it to be soul aligned. You want it to be designed by your blueprint, your design. And so for me, when I started looking into like my gene keys, I found that I will be healthiest and most prosperous when I am on the move. Hence me traveling the world, and I thought that was a rainbow. And, finally accepting, like when I started learning about gene keys, that's when I was like, oh, I am okay to live like this. This is normal for me. Even though it's unusual for other people, this is my design. And so it allowed me to like take ownership of who I am and how I live this unconventional life. If you're not familiar with gene keys, it has the shadow, and then it has the gift, and then it has the city, like the last step in the key when you've overcome it. And you have specific keys in a chart that are relevant to you and your purpose and your wealthiest timeline and your healthiest and all these things. And so for me, my shadow in prosperity was stress and restriction. Those are two different gene keys. And so then the opposite side of restriction is unconditional love. So, and I definitely recommend the book Gene Keys. So when you go on this journey of, for me, like going from restriction to unconditional love. My phone keeps running out of storage, so I'm going to wrap it up here. But pretty much it is for soul-led entrepreneurs and creators who want to use their unique design to understand their messaging and understand their powers and where their power lies, their authority, the best things to create, the best products to create. Like it literally in my design tells me that I am best for showing up and talking about living a free life, about like teaching about wealth and abundance and freedom, teaching about health and wellness. Like it's all in, especially like in my astrology for understanding that part of it. Like, so a combination of all of it. And also with astrocartography, like I was living in certain places where I felt so restricted, and like no matter what amount of money I would make, it would just like dry up. Like I've lived all over the world, not all over, but like I've been places. And so all of these combined can give you a very powerful blueprint on how to move forward into your wealthiest timeline. So I'm super, super excited about Wild Wealth Blueprint. So you can go ahead and sign up below. And the first 10 people to sign up will get a free link to the Decondition library. So the Decondition library has 11 meditations, all designed to decondition the mind and help you go deeper into understanding your purpose. And it also has a few sound therapies in there with my sound bowls. So I'm super excited. I am going to go get the doggies now and take them to the castle. We have a castle here on this land, and it's so beautiful. It's like an ancient ruin, but we're gonna walk over there, see all the horses across the river here. They are starting to get to know me, so when I walk up and I'm like, woohoo, like the horse call, they all start running towards me. And I don't bring my phone for this because it's like me time with my babies. So we're gonna go do that. Duchess is in there because she's still not doing very well. She like came with this lung issue. She was on antibiotics, steroids. I think that I will take her back to the vet and get her maybe more steroids. I wanted her to be able to move more, so instead of being in my van, I wanted her to be in the glamping tent so she can move around. And I also take her on the walk, not to the horses, that's a bit far, but I do take her on the morning walk, and so she can like move her lungs. But that is the update. And I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.